As of 2019, Austin, Texas is the fourth fastest gentrifying city in the country. This means that higher income residents are moving into historically marginalized neighborhoods. Housing costs rise, neighborhoods start to look and feel different, and longtime residents who can no longer afford housing costs are displaced to other areas. There are many factors involved in Austin's high rate of gentrification. One is the legacy of Austin's now infamous 1928 master plan. After the Civil War, many people who had been enslaved moved to Austin. They established what became known as freedman communities. Unlike other cities, Austin's freedman communities were spread out instead of being focused in just a few areas. These communities became established Black neighborhoods and grew in population over the 1800s. Soon, though, Black residents were forced out of these freedman communities. In 1917, the Supreme Court struck down segregationist zoning laws. As a result, Austin and many other cities sought other ways to perpetuate segregation. In 1928, Austin brought in consultants to develop a city master plan. The plan notes that Black people were living all over the city on valuable land. The plan suggests placing all Black services on the east side of town, such as schools and parks, in order to draw Black residents to that part of town. The report states that the land value of this area is very low and named this area the Negro District. The city of Austin harassed Black residents who didn't want to move. They also cut off city services. As a result of these tactics, many Black residents moved to the east side of town. Over the years, Austin's Black community mostly remained on the east side. Resettlement was difficult as city resources were scarce. In addition, redlining was a major issue. The government-sponsored Homeowners Loan Corporation would not provide loans to certain areas they deemed hazardous, which usually meant communities of people of color. In Austin, the largest redlined area was the District for Black Residents created by the 1928 Master Plan. In the 1950s, construction began on the Highway I-35. This highway, completed in downtown Austin in 1962, formalized the boundary between the east and west sides of Austin. As more and more people moved to Austin, developers began looking to the east side. Housing prices rose. Many longtime residents of the east side could no longer afford to live there and had to move. In 1928, Black residents had been forced to the east side. Now, because of gentrification, Black residents, as well as other people of color, were being displaced again. According to a 2018 report by the University of Texas, 56% of Black people who moved out of East Austin between 2000 and 2010 identified unaffordable housing as their main reason for leaving. 24% stated that they left because of underserved public schools, while 16% cited institutional racism. The report by the University of Texas stated, absent major interventions by the City of Austin and other stakeholders, these residents, who are largely low-income persons of color, will be pushed out farther away from opportunity and dislocated from their communities. In the process, neighborhoods that have historically been home to African American and Hispanic residents will lose their cultural character and become enclaves for largely white and wealthier residents. Gentrification is a complex subject. As a real estate agent, you will have clients who bring it up. They may want to talk about the people who are moving into or out of a community. The Fair Housing Act of 1968 prohibits real estate professionals from discussing things like the racial or ethnic composition of a neighborhood. As an agent, you should not discuss the shifting demographics of an area. You also should not encourage a client to live in one area over another because of their own demographics. That's steering. And under the Fair Housing Act, it's illegal. Instead, an agent should show properties that meet the customer's needs and are located in a variety of neighborhoods. Give property-related data concerning local residential sales, property taxes, and similar listings. Your fair housing motto should be to talk about the property, not the people. Studies have shown that homeowners who sell their homes during a time of redevelopment often sell at bargain prices. Although this price is usually much higher than what the owner initially paid, it's also significantly below market value. Homeowners in gentrifying areas can also experience pressure to sell, such as repeated phone calls, agents knocking on doors, and letters in the mail. As a real estate agent, you should work to prevent these predatory practices. If you are working with a longtime resident who is interested in selling as a result of gentrification, talk to them about all of their options, including retaining their property as an investment property. If the owner is intent on selling their home, help them get the full value for their property, and look for predatory actions meant to cheat them out of the full worth. You can also offer education about closing cost assistance and financing. Austin's 1928 master plan institutionalized segregationist policies that still impact the city today. The racial divisions of this plan, as well as other practices like redlining, led to an imbalance in wealth, which gentrification exploits. As an agent, get involved in the communities in which you work, and as always, put your clients' interests first.